mission statement is Southgate Community Schools, the best choice for students and parents. That I'll entertain a motion on the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support? Support. Support by Mr. Green. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. Next, we don't have any presentations tonight. Citizens' comments. Mr. Plowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Pulowski. I'm the Wayne County Commission Youth Council member representing District 15, Joseph Palomera, and I live at 12757 Chestnut Street here in Southgate. Today, I'm here giving you a report on what our council has been doing the last several months. Today, at 10 a.m., the Wayne County Commission met, and we presented our resolution on economic oppression. Today, this resolution comes in regards to a multi of issues that have been going on in this country regarding the Black Lives Matter protests that happened in 2020 and issues regarding our schools of bullying. Today, this is a huge step for Wayne County, and we decided to take this as a resolution to present in front of all commissioners to be able to talk with our superintendents and our teachers here in our district. Not just today, the success of our passing to our resolution, which all board members will be receiving a copy later this evening from me to even look at, to really see what we got in depth. We started drafting this in January, and we just approved it in February, and today we're celebrating our victory. Also, throughout the year, we followed on our last resolution, following my past council members, for our gun violence resolution, taking liberty to go to Lansing and presenting this. I did speak a little bit about this last year when we did this, and we talked with 2 senators, 2 state representatives about this issue, and I think it really makes sense that we need to start looking at changing this country. You know, what we saw in Nashville about a couple weeks ago, it's just sad and horrible, and now what's happening in Louisville, it's just absolutely horrible to see our youth have to endure this type of trauma, and we have to start spending money to keep our students safe. It's not right for our students, and it's not safe. Students should be able to come to our school and feel safe. And like I said, when I first took this oath of office, to my commissioners and to my staff, I'm going to do this for my community. My community means the world, and I will make sure they're safe every step of the way. We also, throughout the year, we had a DIA, we had a tour of the DIA. We got to see the Van Gogh exhibit, and we also got to meet with Mayor of Northville, Brian Turnbout, and also several different mayors from Detroit that have served in past office, and be able to give us words and encouragement to really get involved with county government. Most of you know I've been doing this for the last 6 years of my life, and I enjoy every step of it. But the goal out of this and my term today, and as our seniors receive today these sashes, you will see me wearing this at my senior graduation this year, is my goal going forward is to keep our youth having voices, which today I will be opening up and taking recommendations for my position since my term is opening this June. So please spread the word, make sure students that are wanting to get involved with government, they have the opportunity to do so, and I will be conducting interviews and reaching out to certain students via school email to let them know that the position will be opening as of September of this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who'd like to speak tonight? Okay, so then we'll close public comment. Gives us to the consent agenda, which consists of minutes of the March 21st, 2023 closed session, facility workshop, and regular meeting minutes, the HR update, and the March 2023 disbursements. I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Green? Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes.
President
Item.
Craig, I'd like to introduce one person who's here with us today.
Yeah.
Sarah Good is here. She will be taking Jody's role as benefit coordinator and my assistant. So she will start May 1st to start the transition, to learn the position, and she will accompany Jody at the table then for several weeks after. So it is our gain and Dearborn Heights number 7's loss, and we're really excited to be able to grab Sarah. She is a Southgate resident. And this is going to be a nice, close experience, so that's great. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
All right. Okay, that brings us to the action agenda. The first item on the action agenda is the approval of the CTC cosmetology field trip. Who's presenting this one for us?
The superintendent.
Hello, my name is Mark Hansen, Assistant Principal at Southgate Anderson High School and CTE Director. I'm here to get permission for a couple of our students that have been very successful in the DCTC cosmetology program and are looking to go to a conference with 18 of the students involved in the Riverview School of Beauty that are taking a trip to Chicago to get a chance to learn, a chance to meet a lot of people in the field, and just get experience in terms of increasing their understanding of the business aspect of cosmetology. This is taking place pretty quickly. They're going to be going April 14th to the 17th. There is permission slips that have already been signed. This has been approved by the Riverview School Board, which is the sponsoring district for this program. And it's all been laid out on how they're getting there by train and lodging, and the conference center there in Chicago at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. It's a pretty big deal for these young ladies.
Any questions for staff? Looks like you covered it all.
All right.
All right, we'll bring the discussion back to the table, and I'll entertain a motion on action item number 1.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the DCTC cosmetology trip as presented.
Motion by Dr. Pomponio, is there support? Support by Mr. Sage. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Action item number 2, approval of the bid award for the Hudson Building asbestos abatement project. Mr. Hardy's got this one, I see.
Good evening, Board. My name is Jason Hardy, Director of Operations with Southgate Community Schools, and I'm here to request for approval of the asbestos abatement award, a project before the demolition of the Heinzen Building. Our consultants, Arch Environmental Group, has reviewed and evaluated the submitted bids from the following companies. Environmental Maintenance Engineers, Inc. was a low bidder on the project with a base bid of $210,500, an alternate with $100,700, and for a grand total of $311,200. We've also built in $150,000 contractor contingency costs for the unforeseen materials that could be buried within the wall or hidden in chases. That's not defined in the NESHAP inspection. A link to that inspection report were forwarded to you for your review. Arch Environmental Consulting estimates their fees for the project coordination air monitoring for the base bid work, project coordination air monitoring for the alternate bid, and $10,000 contingency was also included for a grand total of $516,200. We support Arch Environmental Group's recommendation for the Board of Education to approve the following bid for a total of $516,200 for the Heinzen Asbestos Abatement Project. This work, if approved, is scheduled to start on April 24th. A couple weeks away. Questions?
long has this company been in business? And is there a reason why it's so low from the others?
We have a pre-bid walkthrough, so all these contractors came and looked at the building. I can tell you that this company came back and did more research. They were one of 3 companies that followed back up and came back to look at the building more intense. So,
And how long have they been in business?
25 years.
That's all I have. That's a pretty good bid. That's what I was saying. It's
Yes.
almost half of. That's all I have. Thanks.
Mr. President, Mr. Green. Mr. Hardy, what's up?
Hi.
Time frame? How long would this take once it starts? Do you have an idea?
Well, if there's no unforeseen, the base bid's 24 working days. The alternate is 12 working days for a total of 36 working days. The alternate, we separated out because the caulk around the windows at the Heinzen building contains asbestos, and we didn't want to take all the windows out and leave the building unsecure. So we split it up into the first bid, the interior, and then the alternate bid of the whole exterior of the building, so we could coordinate the windows and that coming out before the building came down. So we kind of stretched it out. So 36 days total from start to finish if it was a.
Thank you.
You're making us deal with the caulk around the windows?
Yes. It's included in the report.
Yeah, 191 pages here.
Yes, it was. That's why I didn't print it off. And
The alternate work or the contingency that we have added, the only way they get that is per hour?
yes, and it's got a time and material tickets. It's going to be signed daily. They've included their rates for your review on $30 per lineal foot of any pipe fittings that they can't see. There's steam tunnels that run underneath the Heinzen building, so there's dark corners and tunnels that they have to get in. And then here's the man rates also included in the bid.
And this has nothing to do with the demolition. This is just the asbestos abatement. Once they get done and take everything out, then we can start the demolition.
That's correct. This has nothing to do with demolition. This is just asbestos abatement for the building. And I'm going to clarify, and this will be coming out of the sinking fund.
Do we have the demolition bid out already?
No, we do not. It's, yeah, I'm working with Plant Moran, and we're going to put it on the street soon, but it's not out on the street now for bid.
Are they boarding those openings up after they take the windows out, or they're just gonna leave
We're
them?
not planning to the insulation, so there's the plaster ceiling in the old gymnasium is asbestos, so, and there's fittings above that. Once you get above the plaster, the actual roof insulation has asbestos in it. I mean, they were there for 7 days testing everything in that building. The consultants, Arch Environmental, was there, and they sent a team around for 7 days testing everything, including the caulk.
So would the roof come off, when the windows come off as part of the exterior, or would that happen?
Anything hot on the roof, yes, we're gonna keep it contained until, just before demolition, so it's,
We'll be able to protect the surrounding school and neighborhood and
right, they're gonna have to follow all the rules, they're gonna have to contain it, so they seal themselves in a bubble, they wash in, wash out, everything's gonna be bagged and properly, disposed of. They're gonna have special containers, sealed containers that the asbestos is gonna be leaving and, being hauled away. And that's what Arch is there to ensure that they're following all the rules and guidelines. And do all the air monitoring testing as well to making sure we're clear before unwrapping it.
And then on the contingency size, I saw the list of potential areas that could still be hot that weren't necessarily detected because they couldn't get to them for other reasons. Is $150,000 enough? It seems like there's a lot of unknown.
So this was their high end. I took their high end of it. They put 75 to 150, but we better go high on this because there is a lot unknown. The building was 1940s, and until you get in every area, you don't know what's behind the corner, you know, or in the walls in this case.
So far, all the testing was non-destructive?
Can you clarify?
All the testing was non-destructive, so there was,
What do you mean by non-destructive? I'm sorry.
you didn't break anything to
Oh.
determine where there was or wasn't asbestos?
No, we didn't take any
Drilling
walls down,
pipes.
but if we follow a pipe and then it turns and comes in the wall, then we're gonna have to open that wall up. That's all included, like if there's an old drinking fountain or something, you have to then take the wall apart to get the fittings out of the wall. So that is included in the bid, but it's the insulation material. Sometime they used to fill the block with material that could contain asbestos. So that's the unforeseen.
Thank
with
you.
the building at this age.
Dr. Pomponi.
You said they have tunnels down there. Is there a basement as well, or storage down there?
There's a sunken boiler room. I wouldn't consider it basement, but it's below grade, and then the tunnels pick up from there and then go throughout the building. And that's how it used to heat, from the tunnels up.
Did they test the tunnels or the boiler?
They made their team crawl in the tunnels and go throughout the tunnel as well. And that was, I think, a day and a half of just a couple people crawling through the tunnels. It's confined space, so they have to follow all the permitting and that to go pretty deep into the building.
Thank you.
Any other contingency that's not used will come back to us. We won't spend if we don't have to.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll bring the discussion back to the table, and I'll entertain a motion on action item number 2.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bid award to Environmental Maintenance Engineers Incorporated for the asbestos abatement of the Heinzen Building as presented.
Okay, a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support?
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, action item number 3, approval of the bid award for the Anderson High School area.
For the bleacher section, we have 2 proposals as well. KAB Enterprises. So the bleachers along first baseline are wood bleachers currently, wood and steel. So these are, this proposal is to remove the 2 bleachers, add 2 brand new aluminum 30-foot 5-row bleachers with the fencing guards and handrail per the code. That gives you your ADA seating in front too, on existing pad, for their bleacher total of $35,981.09. Proposal number 2 from GT Grandstands, removing the disposal bleachers, same, the 5-row bleachers with 30 foot in width. Their bid proposal was for $42,660 for the bleacher project. Irrigation, proposal 1 was from Michigan Automatic Sprinkler Incorporated. Their proposal includes irrigation on softball and baseball, including watering from fence to fence. 10 feet of 3-inch directional boring, and a booster pump as well to feed the water to the fields with quick disconnect couplers and Hunter products, for a total of $46,640. Option 2 for irrigation was from Apex Hearth and Outdoor Systems. They've included all the same, the 10 feet of 3-inch directional boring, the booster pump, the Hunter products, and watering fence to fence, for an irrigation total of $66,795.50. There's a little map here, so. It's our recommendation that the Board of Education approve the following proposals and contingency for the fencing, bleachers, and irrigation project at Anderson High School baseball and softball fields. Fencing proposal number 1 for Industrial Fence Company of $52,736. Bleacher proposal number 1 for KAB Enterprises, Inc. for $35,981.09. And irrigation proposal number 1 for Michigan Automatic Sprinkler Incorporated for $46,640. An additional contingency for any unforeseen issues of $25,000 has been added to the project for a grand total of $160,357.09. Questions?
The fence for the football field, who installed that?
The football field, the aluminum,
Yeah.
Brady's Fence.
Is there a reason we didn't get a quote from them for the fencing?
Yes. He said he didn't, I had talked to him after the fact and said, why didn't you put in a number? And he just didn't have the time for it. He's so busy and he couldn't do it.
Okay. I just figured.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
So the main difference between the first 2 proposals is the amount of fence being replaced?
Yes, it is. The lineal foot, so and it's on the baseball field, 741 linear feet of chain link fence for the baseball field for industrial fence, with a total of 549 linear feet of railing. There's top and bottom rail that come along with it. The bottom rail, a lot of it is wavy, rusted, needs repair. Nationwide included on baseball only 193 linear feet of fabric or fencing in their bid. That's it.
So they're reusing most of what's there? Is that the difference? That's the difference between the 2. It's not less fence, it's they're not making the field smaller.
No, they're not making the field
reusing-
smaller.
They're reusing more material in the first bid than in the second bid.
When we did a mandatory walkthrough, both fence companies were there. We went over the scope of work, and one, I believe, missed some linear foot. So the bid for industrial fence is a complete bid. There's a lot more out there than what Nationwide was going to provide. So
So their bid's almost double, but that's the reason why, is because the other company didn't provide a complete bid after a walkthrough?
They include 193 lineal feet, and they included 741 linear feet, and this is right off their bid documents. So it's the footage of fence.
So we don't know if it's because they just missed it or if because they were planning on reusing materials.
I don't know, 100% I don't know what their thought process. The fence is really, you can't be reused. The fence we're looking at is wavy. It doesn't even lay flat. A lot of it's rusted. fabric or the fence itself, the posts are rusted out, so between the backstop and third base, all that's getting replaced 100%, so in poor condition.
Well, was it on the criteria that it be new fencing? Because I would hate to think that they would assume that they can reuse it.
If they missed it, if they just got their numbers wrong,
That's
they'll,
fine.
and we tell them, okay, you got it, they'll just go, oh, disqualify our bid, and
Right.
so we, they
Yeah.
won't. Okay, makes sense.
Any other questions?
I thought I also noticed on the industrial one that they were not, does not include new top or bottom rails, or you mentioned that the bottom of the fence is snaky. Is that the rails that are snaky, or?
Well, in the industrial, they come and train us how to blow out the system. The maintenance heavy portion of it is if you do not winterize them correctly, but these do have stainless steel heads, not the plastic heads, which are supposed to hold up better over time, so if you run over one with the mower, or if water gets in the system, they're not going to crack like the plastic heads. So it's a little bit better head, the Hunter product, on both baseball and softball fields.
And the life expectancy on a system like that is a year, or 10 years, or 50 years, or?
If Michigan Automatic Sprinkler maintains them and they'll give us a annual number, they warranty their product for the life of the product. If we bring in another company to maintain them, then they will not warranty their product. So it's all dependent on who maintains the field.
Okay, thank you.
So he brought up a good question. So if we maintain it, is there still a warranty or no?
I think they would have to train us how to properly blow it out, and, you know, I think if it's a head, they would have to come out and replace a head, and we just couldn't have anybody just go out and put a head in.
Because
For
it's
the
important to
maintenance.
have it winterized, and if you get the
Yes.
wrong people not doing it correctly, you have a turnover of,
And that's a pretty long run, and I believe it's 19 zones, I believe is what it is, between baseball and softball.
so they would give us a price on what it would cost to maintain it. We just don't have it right here.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. For the winterization, they'll give us an annual price to winterize it and to start it up, and then they'll give us an annual cost of, we include this many heads in your annual proposal.
Seeing nothing further, we'll bring the discussion back to the table, and I'll entertain a motion on action item number 3.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bid award to Industrial Fence Company for the fencing, KAB Enterprises Incorporated for the bleachers, and Michigan Automatic Sprinkler Incorporated for the irrigation, including contingencies as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Lamas. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Action item number 4, approval of the bid award for Ford Line and North Point flooring and painting project.
Hey, good evening, President Craig, members of the board, Superintendent Irvine. I'm Scott Smith. I met several of you, I don't know how long it's been, but about a month ago I was down here when we were discussing some of the facility assessment. And a member of our K-12 group and with Plant Moran Cressa, and I'm filling in for Gary tonight. He couldn't be here, but here to please present the awards for North Point and Ford Line for the carpet replacement, as well as painting for those schools. Back on March 10th, the project was formally put out for bids, and bids came in last Tuesday on April the 4th. We had a couple of bids in each category. Tonight we're recommending Cones Commercial Floor Coverings for the floor covering at both schools, and Detroit Spectrum Painters for both schools as well for the painting work. These are two vendors that have done work here in the district before as well. They are the low bidders. From a budget standpoint, our recommendation for the hard construction is $164,220. Contingency equating to about 15% of $24,633. No construction manager fees in this one, for a total recommendation, including the contingency, of $188,853. In your packet, you'll see copies of the proposals from both contractors, as well as some of their affidavits and other forms. The work is scheduled to occur this summer, shortly after the 4th of July holiday. It should take anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks to complete and be done before the start of school. With your approval tonight, we'll issue contracts and get materials and such procured in time for the work. Is there anything else you'd like to add on this? All right. With that, I guess I'll take any questions related to this recommendation.
I'll ask one. Why are we so lucky that we're saving the management fees on this?
You got guys like Jason that
He's
take it a
gonna
little
step
bit more
up and
on.
take care of it? Okay.
But we are under budget, and that's a good thing, and that's
see
part of that.
All right, thank you very much. We'll bring the
Thank you.
discussion back to the table and entertain a motion on action item number 4.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bid award to Cones Commercial Floor Coverings and Detroit Spectrum for not more than $188,853 for the Ford Line and North Point flooring and painting project as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support? Support by Mr. Sage. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Action item number 5, the approval of the opening of new bank accounts. Is this you, Barbara?
Yes, good evening. I'm asking approval from the board to open 4 bank accounts due to the passing of the sinking fund and the upcoming 2023 bond distribution, which will be coming in June for the Series 2. And we are required to keep that funding separate. So we're going to need an investment account with PFM Asset Management, LLC, where we currently have all of our other fund accounts, investment-wise. And we're going to be needing 2 at the Huntington bank level for the, which will serve as like our checking account. So at this point, we need a sinking fund account with PFM Asset Management and a Huntington bank account. We also need a 2023 School Building and Site Bond Series 2 account at the PFM Asset Management and at Huntington. So they're going to be named the same at each of the organizations. But I request approval to open these.
Any questions for staff?
I just, what's the purpose for having 2 separate banks, or 2 accounts at 2 separate banks?
Well, MyLoft really is an investment group for us. We get higher interest rates there, and then Huntington serves as a checking account that we can write checks from. And also with the sinking fund, the city is going to be paying us, like we get our property taxes, and that money will get deposited there as well.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, bring the discussion back to the table and entertain a motion on action item number 5.
Mr. President. Okay. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the openings of the 4 new bank accounts as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Pomponio. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Green? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Goes to the adjournment of the meeting. Motion for adjournment.
President,
Mr. Green?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion by Mr. Green, sorry. I
I mean, it's,
have a motion by Mr. Green. Is there support? Joe? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, we are adjourned.